Well, that was a very interesting question. The first question is, well, did Jim Boekers a few no? So why am I happy? So why do I feel good today? I, of course, had to ask myself the question why. And I realized that this is a bit like asking myself why I love my wife. Yes, it's I don't know. Huh? It's just the way it is. But then, but there are two things. So, of course, I could make a spreadsheet and then give all the qualities that I think a perfect person should have, and then rank my wife, and then I say, well, I probably love her because she scores 9.98 on my own scale. Huh? And we laugh about this, but there are a lot of decisions in life that we think that is this the way we have to take them. Yes. And I like cameras, so I look at cameras and I see this camera scores 9.98 and has 2 megapixels more than the other, so that must be better, isn't it? Anyway, I couldn't resist. But about being happy, and I think there's one thing I know very much. I'm a happy person, and I feel great being here with you. This is exciting stuff. But I know that there are many, many people out there that are not so happy and that are less lucky than I was. And I think that's also good to bear in mind every now and then. And maybe the ones that were luckier than some of the others because we were born in better families or had better education, more luck in life. Maybe it's our job also to think about those that are let's say less lucky than we are. Anyway, that was my thought when I hear about, well, the Jim Boekers asked us. Do I consider myself successful? I think so, yes. Do others consider me successful? I think so too. But I think, and I've been several times successful in my life. I mean, you might not know, but I went to 2 world championships and 1 Olympic Games rowing many years ago, and today, yeah, when you run, let's say, the most profitable bank, I'm sorry, I can't help it, and both in absolute and in relative terms, then a lot of people would consider you successful. Yeah? And it's great to be successful. But how do we express success? We express it in money, yes, in banks or in market share or size. But when I would ask you, let's say, take the example of a doctor. When is a doctor successful? A doctor is successful when he, let's say, is a good doctor and he heals many people, or maybe he finds new ways to cure people, and I think then he is successful, isn't he? Yeah? Would we expect a successful doctor to have a good income? Yes, of course. Yeah? But the doctor he focuses on making people better, and as a result he gets income. Now let's look at it. I'll make this now a slightly more personal story about about banking and myself, and about money and about success. Yes? Because we cannot decide. We have to decide about ourselves, about our future. Yes? Where do we want to go? To the left, to the or right, or does it mediocrity or a memorable life? Yes. But we cannot take the decision to be successful, or we cannot take the decision to be happy. Let's be happy today. Yes, I'm kind of difficult. What are we going to do to make ourselves happy? And I think that is something that we should realize, that it also applies to success in business. A number of the most successful people in business ever never set off to become successful. I mean, it just happened. Yeah? And so it is kind of difficult to insist to be successful. And I would like here to make this parallel to sports. I know a lot of athletes. I know a lot of very good athletes. So I know some of the best athletes in the world. Yesterday, I met again with Ivan Patsaikin. I think one of the most impressive Romanian athletes that I've ever met. My wife is an Olympic champion, also nothing wrong with that. But how do successful athletes work? Why are they successful? This is not because they wake up every morning and they want to beat everybody inside. Of course, you have to be competitive, But you cannot just by being competitive and saying, well, I want to beat everybody at everything, and then because of this I'm successful. Not at all. A lot of people of good athletes are good because they love what they are doing. They really, they find out when they are young that they're good at something, and they try to do more. And they find out, and they want to find out how good they can be. And because they're good, and they spend time, and they're passionate about it, they improve. And when they improve enough, they start winning, and they want to see how far they can take it. Yes? So this is very, very much process-driven. Yeah? They're constantly into small improvements. What can I do? How can I improve? How can I make myself into the best I can be? And this is a concept that works everywhere in life. In banking, the thing, if you really want to irritate me, then you have to tell me that as a banker, all I'm interested in is making short-term profit. Because it doesn't work like this. This is not what gets me out of bed in the morning. And this is also not what makes me successful as a banker. I'm not necessarily interested in profit. I want to make the bank that I'm responsible for every day a little bit of a better bank. And I try to focus on things like customer relationships, improving processes, and make sure that my staff is happy, make sure that my clients are happy. And when I make this bank every day a little bit better bank, then one morning you will wake up and you will find out that your bank is the most profitable bank in the country. Yeah? If I would every day ask and say, how much did you sell? Why didn't you sell more? Why and all the time would be try to push directly for the best financial best financial result possible. One morning I will wake up and I'll realize that maybe I made some progress, but might not be a very good bank. So I see here like success in business, I think is very difficult, how we define success, of course, to achieve it directly. And I think you should understand how to achieve success. And that's one of the things that we also stand for. I mean, you can be very successful by doing your business in a correct way, in an ethical way. And nobody has to lose for me or for any successful business person or manager to win. The whole idea is that we create value. We create value for the community, for our clients, and that we share this value amongst all stakeholders. And if you can do this, then you are actually really successful. And that is measured in the long run. So this is all I wanted to give you to think about in terms of success. Yes? And of course, success, like in sports, however we define success, only has value if you play by the rules. Yes? If you obtain success in a correct way. And it's very simple. You look in the morning in the mirror, and if you like what you're seeing, then you're doing a good job. If you don't like what you're seeing, you're not doing a good job. But I'm sure we'll get maybe more into this later. So anyway, the whole idea of umanager, why we are together, is not to create a movement or it is of course not as worldwide as we are. It's only the four of us, and all we want is that people start thinking or ask questions about themselves, about the way they do. Are they comfortable? The way you do your business or in the organizations that you work, and you can be very, very successful if you understand what drives success, if you don't try too hard to achieve it directly. Try it, it works. That's what I wanted to share.